Oh,
Here we go.
hi. Hi, Miss Anya.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Okay.
All right, let me turn up this volume a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear me clear? I just had to turn my volume up.
Okay.
Okay, we're in there. How you doing? Hi, I'm Topanga and welcome to What's Going On with Swag Her Magazine. This place is a place where we can have real conversation, bold voices, and talk about the movements that are redefining the culture. I'm your host, journalist, publicist, and culture specialist based here in Atlanta. And today, I'm going to let Swag Her community know what's going on. We're here with the amazing Anya Audette talking about Black women build sound in this movement. Welcome, Miss Anya.
Welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you. What's going on?
Your movement, this movement honors and documents and celebrates the voices that shape every genre, whether its history has given its credit or not. And this is amazing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, I love it.
Can you can you tell me the inspiration by this and what is your overall goal for the brand?
So, Black women build sound. While it's very heavily music based, Black women have had sounds for years in terms of gasping for air, exhaling, making sounds uh, of revolt, making sounds of appreciation, making sounds of just making sure that everything is done right and in the right way and honoring the right people.
And do you feel like now is the time to highlight that?
Oh yes, now is the time, baby. With this administration and all the things that are going on, Black women are more prevalent than ever to stand by and do what we do, which is our thing and our thing only, and owning it and living it and being unapologetic for it. Because we've been called so many different things, different names, different descriptions of what Black women are. And the bottom line is that Black women are foundations in every genre or every place that they move. Every move you make, your mother, everybody's mother in a Black community has told you you got to do it bigger, better, faster than the next counterpart. If
Yes, that
y'all
is
haven't
true.
heard that, then get ready for school because that's basically how you move. You basically have to talk about every inch and every move that you make has to be intentional, has to be with thought, has to be unapologetic. Don't apologize. If you say something, like Freud says, you meant to say it, but it's not a Freudian slip. It's just like, I meant to say it, and now I'm going to own it. So this is what Black Women Built Sound is all about: reclaiming our time, reclaiming who we are as people in this society that has not treated us with the utmost respect. Um, so we need to regain that respect again by being bold, fearless, and understanding. I have to say that a shout out to the ATL. I'm loving the ATL. I do love it. I see many Black women out here in these streets, beautiful, unapologetic. That's how I run my life in DC, in the DC, Maryland area. I dress a certain way. I talk a certain way. I am me. I don't apologize. I'm almost 60 and I earned this shit. I earned it. Can I say that?
I'm not sure if we can
I'm
say
not
that.
sure. Okay, so I
Yeah.
earned this. Sorry, explicative. I earned it. I earned it. Um, I'm not going to apologize. So,
And I'm sick of black women having to apologize
right.
for showing up authentically, having passion, and being labeled angry, especially in the music industry
Hmm.
when black women stand up for themselves or speak on things they deserve, or they
Hmm.
want their royalties, they want their publishing, they want to be heard, they want their credit, they don't want to be
Right.
put in one genre. They have to keep apologizing. I mean, we could see with the Country Music Awards this year, Beyonce having to sit in the background as if she's trying to take over a space that we created, a genre that we have always been a part of.
Hmm.
I am sick of black women having to apologize for these things. It makes no sense. It truly makes no sense. So when we speak on artists like Beyonce that are very intentional and that are reclaiming spaces that black women have built and black women have been pioneers and trailblazers in, what is your opinion on that?
I'm so proud of her. I can't begin to tell you. She doesn't need me to be proud of her because she's proud of herself. But what I'm saying is, in terms of the forefront and foundation, she has laid this groundwork since Renaissance. And if anybody has peeped the movie, this project, these projects that she's on now, have been in the making for the last 6 years. What I really loved about her was sitting in a boardroom of all kinds of people, men, women, and she basically was like, "Are you trying to BS Beyonce? You're not going to BS me because this is what I want and this is how I want to do it." And so it's the same thing in terms of how we move. She's been an inspiration these last couple of. I've seen both concerts. I didn't think that Renaissance could get showed out, and Cowboy Carter upscaled and upstage Renaissance.
I
Love
keep hearing
Renaissance.
that.
But baby, when you are sitting there and she comes through those triangles and you see the costume changes and the intent behind every piece of music that she has done, all the way to singing a operatic aria that she sampled that I learned in voice lessons that I still sing to this day, and infuse that with a song called Daughter, which is a story about the elevator incident that happened with her and Jay Z and Solange. But I'm not telling anything out of tale. I'm not telling any school, old school tales. She had on a Southern antebellum dress that, when she stood in the middle of the stage, lit up. And when it lit up, it had visions of Harriet Tubman, it had visions of Shirley Chisholm. It had visions of Michelle Obama. Things were just moving as she was singing the song, and the dress just glittered and moved with visions of black women in history, including herself. She's made history. The Grand Ole Opry, blues, rhythm, all done by black people. Foundation. You guys, the Brooks and Dunns, the I'm not gonna come for the women of country because the women of country are the same women who worked with Sister Rosetta Tharpe, worked with Big Mama Thornton. They knew these people. The Carters knew these genres of people and created their sound from them. Now the Carters, they were a Appalachian um, family of hillbilly singers that birthed the nation of June Carter Cash. And from there, she knew and hung out with some of the most authentic black women in blues and rhythm and sound. She
Hmm.
knew where the history was coming from. She acknowledged that history, as well as Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash uh, was married to a
Ooh.
black woman before he was married
Okay.
to Miss June.
No, tell the story. Tell the story.
Tough story. Okay. Bec- Love Johnny Cash. Okay. If you don't know, you don't know. But I love Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was married to a black woman. The only reason why they broke up, and she was his first love, she basically stood by this man while he was trying to create, again, another black woman, trying to lift up this man to become the man that he became. Okay? Ring of Fire is about their love. Ring of Fire is about him and her. They broke up because she was black. There's no other way to say it. She was black. He loved who he loved, and he just happened to love a black woman. And bottom line, they broke up because they couldn't deal with the stress and the pressures of what the world outside was giving them. And see, the thing is that they're laying foundation. They laid foundations. They laid foundations for the Lovings. The Lovings stood their ground and said, "We love each other. We just want to love each other and have our family." And when everything came to be, where the Loving Act came to the Supreme Court and it was voted on, and you couldn't. You couldn't be in an interracial relationship without going to jail. They went to jail time and time again. They had one of the best lawyers to make sure that that didn't happen to them or anyone else again. They moved to the north, moved to D.C. They had to escape. These people were hunting them down, traveling
I
miles,
understand.
traveling far, just to hunt them down because they wanted to love who they loved. So I attribute, Black Women Build Sound is for those forefronts, those foundations, those women that believed. Look, it's no secret. You're going to see it in the public. I'm married to a white man. I am. I fell in love with a man who just happened to be white. I know people question that. People say things to me. I pay it no mind, like they say in the South. I pays it no mind, honey, because this man stands by me and we stand by each other. And we raised a child together. And this child knows what my mother told her, my mother told me, and my mother's mother told her: bigger, badder, faster. Big, bad, and faster. Now you look at her, she looks maybe Puerto Rican, Dominican. She doesn't look like she's black, but she definitely has embraced her black roots, and I'm so proud of her. She and I give her father the business because there's certain things that he just doesn't know. You want to make sure that everybody's educated in all of that. And even when it comes to love, it's not just about the love. You have to understand what this feels like internally, understand why I'm moving in this direction. So,
Yeah. I love, like I said, I love the authenticity and the honest, raw conversation that is being had that Black women need to have. We are the foundation and the roots to so many trees, and these stories need to be told. When it comes to, trailblazing as a Black woman, it, sound is centered and uplifted through us. Why does that matter today? Why is it important for this generation to know the trailblazers, know who came before them? Why is it so important for them to understand Black women in their true purpose? Because I know there's a lot of narratives out there about us,
mm-hmm.
especially in the entertainment industry. There are a lot of narratives about us. Why is it important for them to know? Yeah, we had a movement a couple years ago, Black Magic, Black Girl Magic, and that was amazing. Why is this new era movement of Black women built sound? Why is it so important for this generation to know this?
It's important. Yeah, this generation needs to know that with the current climate that we're in, they're trying to take us 500 steps back instead of moving forward. We've, we, we are resilient people anyway, and we will always learn how to survive. Speak your mind. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself or have someone that is in your corner that will advocate for yourself. I was told not more than 72 hours ago that I was being difficult. I wasn't being difficult. I'm passionate about my craft. I'm passionate about the work that I'm doing. I'm passionate about how that comes off. And that passion needs to be through a through line that speaks for itself. I'm not difficult. I'm actually very nice. I'll give you the shirt off my back, but do not take my kindness for weakness. I'm not weak. I've taken a lot of hits to build this woman that sits before you today. And again, I earned this. So I advocate myself. I advocate for myself. Ladies, you don't need anybody else to advocate for you but you. And you don't need, first of all, you don't have to live in a place where you have to have a man. This administration is basically telling you you need to have a man to have babies or have a life or have fruitfulness. You don't. My grandmother was born in 1907. And while my grandfather was a man of that era, when he passed away and she was in her 60s, she was still young and had a lot of life. But she told my own mother, you don't have to have a man to
Hmm.
survive. You don't have to move because they move. I can move without you, and I can build upon that. My grandmother was a domestic. She cleaned people's houses for a living to give me a fruitful life. And the funny thing about that is that she took her hard earned money, put it in a card, put it in an envelope, and trusted that the U.S. Postal Service would send that $400 to me while I was in college. Come on, babies. Those are
That's a
the
lot of
kinds of women
trust.
that I come from. That's the lot. That's where I came from, and the generations are younger. There's some women out there that are younger that had their babies young, that have grandchildren or great grandchildren now that they're young, but there's still a generation and there's still a history that goes with that, and you need to embark on your path, not somebody else's, yours, what you
Mm.
make it, and work on that. Again, there's an HBO special. What is it, Topanga, about the Black Hollywood, B list, A list? Um, it's a
Yes,
special on
yes. Oh,
HBO.
yes.
Deep, truthful conversations with actors and actresses that I have grown up with and have known, and you now find out the backstory. But we were finding out this backstory during 2020. My sister and I came up with a coalition. She has, I'm going to do a shameless plug, it's called Confident Theatrics. And basically,
Okay.
Confident Theatrics was something that she was a brainchild of hers, where she came to own community theaters in the Washington, D.C. area, and how we were being treated as a second thought. We can do a black show in the theater and make it one of your number one hits, your number one hit on your subscription base. And while your subscription base may be white, that's the first time that your theater has seen thousands of black people coming to support black art. With that, you have a whole production staff of white people that don't know wigs, makeup, and all the things that come with doing a show.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's hot.
so it's hot. It's hot tea because it then transcended all the way to Broadway, and then it transcended all the way to Hollywood. We had to do our own makeup, do our own hair. Your vision for me may not necessarily be the same vision that I have for myself. If I'm going to play Viola Davis's character in the Help, I need you to know the history of how domestic women were being treated or not treated. Domestic women in the South were raising your children,
Right? Raising them, nurturing them, loving them,
giving them all the love because you were busy going to the
breastfeeding
club,
them.
because you were going to the country club. You were raised, my grandmother raised children of doctors and lawyers in Baltimore County. And when that woman died, those descendants from, getting emotional, from those houses came to my grandmother's funeral. If anybody knows anything about funerals and the love of what that looks like, go educate yourself and see Imitation of Life. Miss Lana Turner, and I can't remember Juanita, Juanita. I know her name and I know her and I see her as the day is long. But Imitation of,
Juanita.
you looking it up for me, baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually can't. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember the name, but let me tell you this:
Um,
if it was no
I
Hattie
can't remember
McDaniel,
the name, but it's a must see.
it's a must see.
It's a
Black
must
woman
see.
must see. Black woman, white woman become very good friends. They meet each other in a cold water flat in New York City. She has a
Yes.
child. She has a child. This child is a mulatto. Sandra Dee is the other daughter to Lana Turner. Lana Turner blows up, becomes famous, becomes a Hollywood
Yes.
star, and takes Juanita's character with her, and still becomes, unfortunately, still becomes a domestic for her. But
Yes.
everybody knows her. Even the old man at the Coldwater Flat had no
Everybody
money.
knows her.
Everybody knew her. So when you get down and dirty to this New Orleans style type funeral, and the daughter basically wants to be white until her mother dies. I'm not telling nothing out of school, but then she realizes what her foundation is, and her foundation is now gone because the mother dies of a broken heart because the daughter just wants to be white. I get it. I get it. But she didn't appreciate what her mother did for her until her mother was gone. It was a mess.
It's too
To
late.
this day, I still boohoo's not tears because that movie is prevalent and acceptable, that everybody in this generation needs to see. Every time I see something's
I,
on my
I,
daughter, I
I
tell
think the
her,
only
you
way
need to
they'll
put
see
that.
it is if there's a remake. I truly believe the only way they'll see it, and at this point, I really need people to see that.
And that disappoints me because old black it ain't nothing but history in an old black and white movie.
Okay.
The authenticity of an old black and white that has turned into color. And as much as people don't like it, let me tell you, Gone with the Wind is part of the history. It's part of the history of Atlanta, how it came to be. There would be no Hattie McDaniel. There would be no Halle Berry if it wasn't Hattie McDaniel. We
It would be
all
no.
know this. There would be no Dorothy Dandridge if there wasn't a Hattie McDaniel. There would be no Juanita if there wasn't a Hattie McDaniel. I saw the reason why I went into this business because the closest thing that I saw at the time that I was growing up in the 60s was Rita Moreno. Because on screen,
Ooh,
she looked black to me, and I said, I'm doing that. And then my mother educated me to Cabin in the Sky and showed me Lena Horne. Then my mother educated me to Carmen Jones and showed me Dorothy Dandridge. I
okay.
live for these women. I may not be rich, but I'm rich in knowledge and how I carry myself. And this generation needs to understand that you need to know where you come from by where you've been. Billie Holiday, ladies and gentlemen. Write that down. Billie Holiday. You need to know where
Billie
you come from and
Holiday.
where you've been.
So how do we
I had
balance?
to go back
How do
here.
we balance storytelling? But how do we? But how do we balance storytelling and telling these black beautiful stories, making sure people, especially the younger generations, understand the roots and the foundation that black women are connected to and why, without offending, with being welcoming, with creating a safe place for them. How do we balance storytelling and honoring the culture and helping them understand it?
The first thing we need is be your own advocate, and then finding like-minded people. I'm not talking about militancy. I'm not talking about militancy. I'm talking about like-minded people who want to be a part of something great, to get on
Mm.
board, to join in. It's not always about the money. It really isn't. I the joke in the entertainment business is what restaurant do you work at? What bar do you work at? Maybe another shout out, another Atlanta staple, the backstage. Let me tell you, I had a blast. I had a blast. It reminded me of my family. It reminded me of my old school. My grandfather ran the Elks Home. It was a bar. My grandfather was running numbers to make sure that he had food on the table for his family. My grandfather was the janitor, as well as my grandmother being a domestic. My grandfather was a janitor at the Baltimore Gas and Electric Company. I have a
Mm.
silver plaque of them honoring him for his service and his time on, there, his time there. And I wasn't supposed to be in the bar, but they let me come in the bar because they knew that I was Sam's granddaughter, and I would sit on the bar with my little dolls, and I would just look around, and I would mind my business. I wasn't in anybody's. That saying, "Don't be in grown folks' business." Children are to be seen, not heard. I took it all in. I took it all in. And I watched the black ladies in the back, sinners. I watched the ladies in the back make fish from a fryer, bread, greens, put it in a styrofoam, sell it $4. My auntie, my aunties were selling fish
That's
fries
culture.
on
That's
Fridays
culture.
during Easter time. Fish fries, not this little, no shade, fish, fish
Farm raised BS.
that you can. I don't even know if this goes on anymore. I was trying to get my auntie when my father died. I was trying to get my auntie to do a fish fry. I was like, "Girl, let's do a fish." She was like, "Girl, I ain't frying up no fish." And so, girl, that was $4. Little thing of mac and cheese, some greens, a piece of bread, and fish. Honey, there were fish places all over Baltimore. Fish. It was a place called Sea Trout. The line was as long as your what you call where we go yesterday, Bandos.
Oh,
Another shout out, huh? Another shout
we're
out.
backstage,
Uh,
Tulum.
Tulum backstage, but where we go yesterday to just drive up, they had the crack.
Oh, Bando.
Bando. Y'all don't know nothing about this. Y'all don't know nothing about this. Atlanta has kept the culture intact. Other
Oh, it
cities
has.
have erased
Atlanta has Atlanta has found a way to show every layer of blackness, from
every
luxury
layer.
to the urban side to the locals to upper echelon. They have found a way to capitalize.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I walked in, I was greeted with a woman that was smiling. They told me the history of Bando. They told me where it came from, and I was impressed. I wanted every picture moment because I want people to see on my socials that I'm not playing, that I can build from here. I would love to do a little something something there to bring in the community. If I can bring in the community to come together, look, I'm corny. Topanga and I basically built this foundation. I'm not even going to trip and not say that she didn't have something to do with it, because she definitely did. She brought something out in me that I didn't know I had in myself. And this is how this became creation. This is a creation of two black women sitting on the phone for 2.5 hours, talking about their likes and dislikes, talking about their history of music, me telling her things, she telling me things. She asked me simply, because I'm a music person, she asked me why Burt Bacharach, and I said because he was the foundation for Dionne Warwick. She was the foundation. He was the
Another
foundation of
trailblazer.
every song that Dionne Warwick has made. No, she has been my spirit animal since I was a little girl. And I had older, my mother had the original albums, the originals. And if y'all really want to get down to dirty to the Burt Bacharach, the Stylistics had a song written by Burt Bacharach. That's what Friends are for, Burt Bacharach, to raise money for AIDS. My best friend died of AIDS. I'm a huge AIDS advocate, and people don't understand that HIV and AIDS is something that was killing black people, black trans, black LGBTQ, black men, black
A
women,
family member has
because we
one of
went
my
through it,
immediate family members.
because no one cared. No one cared. Sharing needles, okay? Arthur Ashe, Wimbledon, tennis great, black man, died of AIDS. Transfusion, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not go there and make a narrative about he was gay. And if he was, who cares? He's no longer here to put history right. So I'm going to make it right for him. He died of a blood transfusion that he needed desperately. A young girl who was on the Oprah show died of HIV, just died at 30 years old. Again, don't remember the
Uh,
name,
I remember
but she
her as a
passed away.
child.
She was a child. Her mom was crack. Her mom was a crack whore, and basically passed this over to her. And she became an advocate for letting people know that it's not just a gay disease, it's an everybody disease. Magic Johnson, one of the greatest basketball players of our time, had AIDS. My best friend died a month before Magic Johnson came out and told everybody and told the world. Was I angry with Magic Johnson? Yes, because he had the resources and the funds to make sure that he didn't die of AIDS. But he took his platform and took it to another level. His son is gay. His son is LGBTQ, a proud gay man that dresses better than I do and struts better than I do. I'm proud of that. He's embraced something that I don't think he knew in his machoism. I don't think he knew that he had to embrace this movement going forward so his son could live without any mess.
Yeah, my
'Cause-
grandparent, she has had HIV since the 70s. It wasn't called HIV when it first came out, but she's had HIV since the 70s. So luckily, she has been able to afford the medications, and she's lived a very normal life. She's about to be 80. She's been fortunate to live a very nice life. I mean, colds here and there take her down. COVID
Sure,
was a little scary,
because your immune
but
system. Yeah,
yeah. But if you can afford the medication and you live a healthy lifestyle, you can. But if you can't, it is very unfortunate.
it's
But
very
I say
unfortunate
that
because
I
if it's
say that to
treated
say
right,
that Black women, Black
again, foundation.
stories, foundation, strength, storytelling. You talking about a group of people who have had to code switch, have had to play the game, whether it be corporate or stage, whether it
Yeah,
be, whether it be at a warehouse at Amazon or on the big screen, they have to.
right. The one thing, the one, yeah. The foundation. My mother's my foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, my mother marched on Washington in 63. I am here because of her.
Hmm.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, her grandmother made sure that my grandmother made sure that my mom's skirt was pressed, her shirt was cleaned, and her cardigan sweater was on point and freshened up so she could walk into her job at NSA that my mother stayed at for 55 years. And when she retired, I had so many black women approach me and said that your mother was basically the foundation of NSA. My mother was a hidden figure, just like Dorothy Vaughan, just like all the ladies of Hidden Figures. My mother was the same for um, for the NSA. She was the old school NSA. The only reason my mother got out because she definitely has got the brains. She was a cryptologist. That's numbers. That's our top security in motion, headed up by a very smart, not college educated. My mother got her degree after I was born because she had to raise
Mm.
me. She did all the things. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the foundation. This is the storytelling. I don't mind being dropped off at my grandmama's house and staying there all day. That's why, because I'm a Capricorn, I'm an introvert extrovert. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered. And when I go to my room, I don't want to be bothered. And sitting in my grandmother's house, we didn't have to have long conversations and talk all day. I just watched her do what she does. I watched her do what she did and what she does. I've watched her when the washing machine flooded the kitchen because the washing machine was in the kitchen and the kitchen table was in the kitchen and the refrigerator was in the kitchen. You could go here, here, it was a triangle, but nothing but love and two chairs where community could come and sit. Everybody loved my grandmother. People knocked on the
Hmm.
door. My grandmother didn't have it, but she would make sure that you had a piece of change in your pocket. And then when she got paid back, it was a surprise to her. That's black foundation. That's black community. I know all the stories because I sat and watched the stories with my grandmother. I watched God and Light, no longer on. I watched As the World Turns, no longer on. I watched Young and the Restless, still on. Bold and the Beautiful, still on. And now that is the parlay to Behind the Gates, an all black soap opera headed up by some of my favorite black actresses. Some of them came from Bold and the Beautiful. But let's give a shout out to Miss Valerie Pettibone, Miss Thelma Hopkins. Thelma Hopkins, y'all. Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Oh
Thelma
yes,
Hopkins.
yes, yes, yes.
Foundation.
So, so it's safe to
Tony
say
Orlando
that.
and Dawn.
So it's safe to
Dawn.
say because I was.
Two black women.
So it's safe to say, Miss Anya, that Black women built the brand. Is I mean, this collection sound, but this is just the beginning of the journey. This collection sound, but there's other stories you're going to be telling through this brand
Right,
because you're giving us the gems
right,
right now.
right, right,
And
right. Pam Grier.
you're giving us the gems, guys. I think Miss Anya has something special for you guys coming up. So
Pam
I was
Grier.
going to ask you what direction the brand's going in, but from the questions I've been answering, it's clear that this is just the beginning. We're
This is
starting
just
with
the beginning.
sound, but we're going to continue on telling the story of the foundation of what Black women have built.
Let me tell you something. Doja, I love you. Doja Cat, I live for you. You sampled, you painted the town red. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Because you're honoring two people that I love. Burt Bacharach, Dionne Warwick. I'm not mad at it. You're bringing so
Okay.
both albums that I have are reinventions of things that were already there. And I work with some great producers to make it different, to give it a trap sound, to give it whatever. Because I don't know any of the lingo. I don't know. I just straight sing the way that it was because I love the way that it was. But bringing it to the forefront and bringing it new and fresh has ignited something that I didn't even know was possible. And so
Mm.
this homage to Burt and the one that's coming out next winter, this is just the beginning of it. I see this being a collective because we're not just music. We are sound. We're sound. You hear us all the time. You talk
We hear
about
Black women everywhere.
you. We're everywhere. You can't bump. You can
Black
swing a
women
cat.
are in everything.
You
No,
swing a
Black
cat
women
and
are
there's a black woman
seasoned in
involved.
everything.
Let me tell you, Candy,
Fashion, beauty,
Burris, fashion, Did y'all know that Candy Burris had the number one Broadway show in history
No,
because she was the producer of Othello with Denzel Washington and Jake
no, no,
Gyllenhaal.
no. I did know that. No, no, no. I did know that. I had forgot to put the connection. But
She
honestly, you
every
know,
which makes me,
I'm
hey, I'm gonna
just
shout it out, Candy,
sorry.
I love you. Please, I'm a Broadway girl. I would love to talk about the back end of what that looked like for you, sitting at the table saying, "I'm gonna produce Othello." You're
No,
not
but
producing
you
a
have me in
Chitlin
shock
Circus
right now.
show, right? But she
No,
didn't
no, but
produce
you
a
have me in
Chitlin
shock right
Circus
now.
show, Topanga. She produced a William Shakespeare, not
No,
Chitlin
but that's
Circuit.
what I'm saying. Black women, no, but black women, we're everywhere and we have a place
You
everywhere. And
swing a
we are
cat and we're
like I
there.
was thinking
Yeah,
in it, whether it's the corporate setting or stage, we have a place in the story. And I'm really sitting here thinking, and that's why I said black women are everywhere. They're not just in sound. We are seasoned through culture everywhere, from beauty to fashion.
mm-hmm.
I mean, politics, okay, we're reclaiming our talent. Baby, they don't know what to do with us on politics. They don't know what to do with us at the Supreme Court down to local government. They don't know what to do with black women. Yes. Yes,
The
Miss
sound
Anya. The
of
movement is
Kataji, the sound of Kataji saying what's on her mind. This, you have been appointed as a Supreme Court justice for a reason. You've got a Latina, you got a black, and you got a white. The whites over here. This is what I don't understand. White conservatism. You are a DEI hire, ma'am. You benefited as a DEI hire, and yet somehow you're a racist. And you're not standing up for other women. I can't wrap my head around women not standing up for other women.
I
Don't
cannot
care
wrap my
what
head
they
around
look
it.
like.
I cannot wrap my head around it.
I can't wrap this head around it. We've got to change the narrative. I just had a photo shoot for my brand. Rachel
Yes, tell us
helped,
about it.
Rachel helped represent my brand. She's a white girl with Italian. She's an
Black women
Italian white
built
girl.
sound.
Italians that are dark are called Moors. There is black and Italian embedded in your culture, in the culture of Italians. The
Whether they want to
Moors,
admit it or not.
Othello, whether they want to admit it or not, Othello was a Moor. That's why
It's no
he was in.
different. It's no different than the Dominicans that don't want to admit it, or other cultures that don't want to admit that
Correct.
our African roots are within them. It's that's a whole nother topic.
That's a
But
whole other topic. But we got
wow,
here. We
Miss
came
Anya,
somewhere.
Miss Anya, I have to say, when I told Swag her, hey, I had a guess. I told a couple magazines, Swag Pop. Everybody was like, okay, Topanga, I said, there's a new movement going on, and this movement is it's going to take over because Black women built sound, and this is just the first collection. They, of course, said yes without a doubt. I think before we wrap up this episode of what's going on, it was important for Black women built sound, this movement, to be here at Swag Her because Swag Her gives gratitude not only to Black stories but Black women. Swag Her magazine is where you can authentically show up and they understand the identity. They don't create a narrative around blackness. They don't police black women. And that's why I support Swag Her magazine. And any time that I'm able to meet someone who can tell that story, I'm going to tell it. Guys, as we wrap up today's episode of What's Going On, um, I would big love and gratitude. I'm trying not to get emotional to Miss Anya Audette.
We
Um,
cry all the time, y'all.
uh,
We,
bl-
it's
Black
love
Built
here.
Sound is so beautiful. This movement honors the unsung architectures
Mhm.
behind the culture. Black Woman Sound is more than a brand, it's a living archive, it's a love letter, it's a cultural correction. It reminds us all that jazz is house, soul, country, hip hop, rock, that's ours. And Black women didn't just influence Milton, we built the foundation. We built the foundation to a lot of things. And you will always have a home here at Swag Her Magazine because we know what's going on. And guys, if you are out there and you have a story that Swag Her needs to tell, please reach out to me. Please reach out to our editor in chief, because what we're doing as Swag Her is we're telling real stories. There's enough blogs, there's enough magazines out there
Oh,
telling the
stories,
gossip,
real life.
telling the trending topics. We're
Yep.
telling the real stories, the
Real
real
story.
stories and the people behind there. So, guys, please reach out to me, DM me, reach out to Swag Her, talk to our editor in chief, who's a black woman,
Hmm. Hmm.
laying the foundation in print,
Again, Black
telling
women build
stories.
sound.
Okay.
She built the
All right.
sound,
Amazing black
a
woman.
platform for us to speak. A
So if you felt
platform.
seen in this
I
interview,
felt seen.
if you felt inspired in this interview, don't let it just stop here. Share this, support this. Say Black Women Built Sound. Tell what Black women have. Stream that voice. Advocate, like Miss Anya said. Honor the women who have given us the soundtracks to our lives. I'm Topanga Vonti. I'm here with Swag Her Magazine. Miss Anya, can we please see a little glimpse of Black Women Built Sound and
Yes.
how
So
we
we
can
have
find
an
you?
amazing team. Again, we dreamed of things that I didn't dream for myself. We have an amazing team. When you get your shirt, the packaging is on brand. The packaging tells you what this is. And then the unveil, a Ziploc, classy, love it. We also have it packaged for you with a tag. It says Black women will wear built sound that you can actually wear. I'm gonna put this on. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna put it on every piece of clothing because it's a brand name. It's a calling card.
It's
Then,
really
ladies and
cute. They have
gentlemen,
it like industrial,
if you
gold
look,
pin.
mhm, then my signature is on the tag.
So we know where to
The
find you
team
at.
has
You're
thought of
at your
everything.
so you're
The Anya Audette is my Instagram. The shop will be up in the next 24 hours after we put all the edits and everything together, the models. The Shopify QR code will be in the bio. You can purchase these. We have all sizes. We even, hey ladies, the curvies, we thought of you especially. So we have ranges of sizes. They're
Black women
unisex.
come in different sizes.
Baby. They come in
Black
different
women come
different
in different
curves,
sizes.
all the
Yeah.
things.
Uh,
Um, Men, I got some men. I got about 10 guys walking
we got
around
guys who wear
right
black women
now.
built packets. The guys love black. And let's hold on before we wrap this up. Let's not change the narrative. Men, they love black women. Don't let propaganda fool you. Black men love black women. They love their black sisters, their black mothers, their black wives, their black daughters. Please, come on. Somebody said in the comments, let her cook. Yes, Miss Anya. But guys, as we wrap up here, until next time, Miss Anya, tell us your IG handle where they can find you at, all platforms, where they can
Okay.
Google you at, what they can look you up, where they
Oh,
can find
yes.
you.
You can Google the Anya, TheAnyAuDette, the Anya Audette. That is my full name. I've always been Anya Audette. I wanted to embrace where I came from. The Audette is my dad's naval ship that he changed the verbiage on it because it's spelled Odett, depending on the country that you're from. My first name is Russian. Yes, it is. It's Russian. My mother's love for Russian literature, and then my middle name from my dad's ship. This tribute, this beginnings, is my daddy's blessing. My daddy passed away in March, and everything has been coming like this ever since he passed away. And I'm on Anya Audette for a IG. I'm the Anya Audette on Facebook. I am Anya Neville on another Facebook page that I
That's your
communicate
personal
with,
correct though.
but we will fix that. And then I'm on Google. I am on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Prime, Deezer, iHeartRadio. All my songs, all my albums are on those platforms, making good traction, good hits. I'm so proud. And on Friday, the new release of my single, I Will Survive, and it's not your mama's I Will Survive, but it is a shout out to Miss Gloria Gaynor. But I did a little twist because
That's what black women do.
we did a little twist because I am a big fan of Dame Shirley Bassey. Say it again, Dame Shirley Bassey, the queen of the James Bond themes, the queen of MGM, the queen of, if it wasn't for her and her theme songs,
Soundtracks.
there would be no James Bond
Soundtrack.
soundtracks. The queen of
She's the
singing,
queen of sound.
Miss Dame Shirley Bassey. She did a version of I Will Survive, and I recorded it, and I live for it, honey, because it gives you a little bossa nova jazz It's going to premiere tomorrow on Spotify. I cannot wait. Whew, we got so much work to
Wrap
do.
it up,
We
guys.
have so much work to do. Y'all don't even know. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this real conversation and letting us know what's going on, guys. Like I said, if you have a story that needs to be told, reach out to me or DM our editor in chief at Swag Her Magazine because we love telling the stories that need to be told. Thank you so much, Miss Anya. It was a blessing.
Peace, my brothers and sisters. I appreciate all of you.
Bye.
Oh, and a shout out to Connie Francis.
Oh, rest in peace, Connie. She's not a
Connie
black
Francis.
woman. Rest in
She's not a
peace.
black woman, but she lays
Oh,
the
rest in peace.
foundation.
Because, baby, Connie Francis was that girl.
She
Okay?
was that girl.
That girl.
All right.
Okay. Bye.